we had Corey Anderson making his Bellator debut. This is his first fight back since getting stopped by the now champion, Jan Blachowicz.
Yep.
Yeah, so he took on Melvin Manhoef in his Bellator debut, and as expected, he won. He won via TKO in the second round, with some ground and pound that looked legitimately brutal. Corey Anderson did what Corey Anderson does, with, I would say, a little bit more of an emphasis on finishing than typical. Usually, when he goes the wrestling route, you just are like, okay, he's gonna do the Corey Anderson thing. He's gonna wrestle. He's gonna use some.
You know what that is, right? You know why that is, right? He's been working with DC.
Well, I mean, it obviously worked, but Corey Anderson, when let's say his world ranking, let's not say UFC, world ranking, after being stopped by Jan Blachowicz, where would you have put Corey Anderson? I know where I would have put Corey Anderson.
In the top 10, the lower top 10, the 7 to 10 range.
Same. And, Bellator keeps getting clowned on by what Scott Coker said about, now that John Jones is a heavyweight, Bellator may have the best light heavyweight division in MMA. Corey Anderson, a top 10 light heavyweight in his promotional debut, got Melvin Manhoef. Melvin Manhoef is a legend in his own right. Phenomenal fighter. He's like 30-something and 15 in MMA alone. But we were talking about this on Saturday. Melvin Manhoef, he hasn't fought in almost a year. He fought twice in 2019 against two men who don't have Wikipedia pages. Also, I looked them up on Tapology. They have about a third of the fights that the Manhoef does, if that. And his bouts before his two in 2019 were in 2016.
He's old. He's in his early 40s, like 43 or 44, right? I think he's 44.
I have it right here. So we have Manhoef versus Corey Anderson. He is 44 years, 5 months, 3 weeks, and 4 days old.
He's about as old as Anderson Silva.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, dude, so just a roundabout way of saying, light heavyweight at Bellator is a wasteland.
Let's see let's see how many light heavyweights in Bellator that I can name off the top of my head.
Okay, so
right now they're all former UFC fighters. That's the reason I can name them.
No, well, the ones that you can name.
That's the only reason I can name them.
Yeah.
Okay, so Corey Anderson, Phil Davis, Ryan Bader, Nemkov, who isn't UFC but is their champion now. That's all I got. I can't. And then what's his name that just lost? 44-year-old man. Other than him, couldn't list you a single light heavyweight that they have.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. That's what yes. So I couldn't find a single Bellator light heavyweight ranking. No one does it.
Nah.
Tapology does, but half of the people in the top 5 either aren't light heavyweights anymore or they're retired. Chael Sonnen's in the top 10.
Chael's been retired for like a year and a half.
These are the men I can confirm are in the Bellator light heavyweight division.
Okay.
Alessio Sakara.
Okay.
Last fought in 2019 in a Bellator cage, and he took on a man who at the time was 8-7
Mm,
Lyoto Machida recently lost by decision to the next man, Phil Davis.
yeah, that's right.
Then you have Liam McGeary.
Oof, I forgot all about him.
The other mainstay, Linton Vassell.
So yeah,
Now,
yeah,
and then you have Nemkov.
yeah.
It's like, dude, who the hell is Phil Davis gonna fight?
Oh,
Like, I don't.
Phil Davis is getting.
Not Phil Davis. Corey Anderson.
Well, that's the thing.
Is he gonna fight Phil Davis?
No, Phil Davis is getting the title shot. They're going to book Nemkov versus Phil Davis over.
Well, that does make sense.
Phil Davis
Because Phil Davis,
he's already
he
fought
is.
Nemkov. It's a rematch. He already fought Nemkov.
Okay.
And so they're going to book that. What's his name just said that. Ariel just said that.
Okay, so here, I don't know why these rankings are a top 12, but they are. It's on Tapology. So these rankings are voted on by the Tapology community.
Mm,
So I'll go through the top 10.
okay.
Ryan Bader at number 1. Phil Davis at number 2. Nemkov, McGeary.
How's Nemkov
Muhammad,
number 3?
dude, I'm telling you, it's
What?
uh, I don't know what to tell you. This is
Okay.
Tapology.
Continue.
What I'm telling you is, this is, dude. We talk about it very often on this show that Bellator is doing something wrong. Tapology is the website, dude. Tapology, like, understand this. Tapology is a website that you're only going to go to if you're a hardcore MMA fan.
Yeah.
And also, you're only going to vote in the ranking if you are a further more hardcore subsection of that group. And they don't even know that Vadim Nemkov is a light heavyweight champion.
Those people, the hardest of hardcores, didn't even know to vote the champion as the number 1 guy in the division.
Yeah, number 5 again, just to like, in the top 5. Who's bringing in number 5?
I have no idea.
Muhammad Lawal.
Old retired King Mo.
Retired, doesn't fight anymore.
Yeah.
Number 6 in the world, according to Tapology. Number 6, Melvin Manhoef. Followed by Alessio Sakara, followed by Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen is ranked above Corey Anderson.
Is he ranked above Machida?
Sure is. And then there's Jordan Young.
Okay, yeah.
And then coming in at number 12 is Kent Kauperinen. And you don't have to worry about him for this conversation because he's actually a middleweight.
Oh, great. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, Bellator's website doesn't have any sort of rankings, really anything like that. They just have a super unuseful page on their website called All Fighters. And it's just a page of all the fighters.
You want to see all the people we got at once?
Yeah. Bellator light heavyweight. So I go to mixed martial arts fighters, and yeah, dude. I'm gonna share. I'm gonna do a. I almost call us MMA brothers. I'm gonna do a Sparring Partners podcast first.
There we go.
And I am going to share my screen. If I can, there we go. Share. Yeah, I'm going to share the screen. Okay, so do you see what I'm seeing?
Yes.
Okay. So we have Juan Archuleta, you have the champions here.
Okay.
And then you just have a tab that says all fighters.
The top one is 1-1.
All. They're not sorted in any way. It's just all fighters.
Oof, man.
This is
Five
the
and
least
four.
this is the least
7-7.
database. Dude, this is
Oh
the
and 0.
uh-huh. Yes.
1-0.
Mhm.
Jesus Christ.
So this is the least useful database I could I could cook up. Dude, they've got to do something
Their
different.
champions aren't even in order. Man.
No, and I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is the fact that, like, for someone like me, I want to start watching Bellator, right? I want to start doing Bellator breakdowns for the site, which is why I started looking into this stuff.
Yeah.
And for someone that wants to, like, get into Bellator, like ingratiate themselves with the rankings and who the individual fighters are or whatever, you're like the simplest form of that is like just a ranking or like,
Yeah.
top five, or go to like, you separate this into weight classes, top fighters per weight class, or like literally anything other than just a big infinite page of 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 of, of seemingly photoshopped people that have records like 3-0 and 1-1.
Terrible records.
I mean, like, it's not, a lot. Some of them are just getting started, but I mean, really, it's yeah, it's a challenge to like try and get into Bellator as an organization, because, like I said, we only know like 4 or 5 dudes at light heavyweight, and the way that people are promoted and the information on their website, like, that's all you're ever going to be able to recall.
Yeah.
Is Yeah, man, it's a bummer because I think there are some really great fighters in Bellator. It's just they get lost